right. Good morning and happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. So I'm just giving those that are joining us on Instagram a minute to hop on. And if you have a block or a pillow or maybe a sturdy book that you can use during the practice, go ahead and grab that now. It also could be helpful to prop yourself up for meditation. So if you have a block, a pillow, or a sturdy hardcover book, you can grab that now, and we'll use that at some point during the practice. And then once you have that, we'll go ahead and start in child's pose today. So you can go big toes touch, and then either knees wide, this is going to stretch you more in the hips, or you can bring knees together, that's going to stretch more through the low back. So we want to, in either option, bring our butt close to our heels first, and then reach the arms forward. Let your head come down between your arms. And we'll just take a few minutes to arrive, connect to our breath. Pay attention to your breathing. And then start to deepen your breath from the depths of your belly. Belly rises first, up the rib cage, through the chest, and then reversing the breath back down. A few more deep breaths here. And as we go about our practice, always coming back to your breath. We tend to let our body take over, and then we lose our breath. It usually comes in and out of our mouth. Today, try to move your body following the breath. So keeping it in and out of your nose the whole time. If you start to have to open the mouth and do that labored open breath, then maybe we bring it back to here, back to child's pose, to help us connect again with that breath. Going at your own pace, whenever you need it. From here, we'll bring the knees in a little bit if they're not already together. And then take your left shin and cross it over your left Achilles. We'll then again sit the hips back and then reach your fingers up and over to the left. Maybe feeling a stretch even in your glute. Let your head drop. And then bring your hands back to center, shift your hips forward to release that side, bring your right shin up and over your left ankle, sit your hips back, and then walk your hands over to the left. And then shift your weight back forward, release that side. And then we'll set up in our tabletop. So wrists and elbows are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. And we'll go through a few rounds of our cat and cow, tilting the pelvis down as you inhale and look up, find length. Exhale as you round through the spine, pull your belly button in, drop your head. Inhale, tilt the pelvis down, arch the low back, look up. Exhale, round through the spine, pull the belly button in. Go through a few more rounds with your breath. Finish up that last one and come back to a neutral spine. And then from here, we'll take your left arm, thread the needle through, let your head drop, bend through that right elbow. One more exhale, and then reach the arm up overhead. And then place it back down. Reach the right arm through, bend through the left elbow, thread the needle on the other side. One more exhale, and then as you inhale, sweep the arm back up and bring it through. Take your right leg straight out now. And again, thread the needle through on this side, pushing the hips back. Left arm threading through. One more exhale, and then sweep the left arm up overhead. And then sit your hips back onto your heel. Bring the left arm down, keep the right leg extended, and switch your arm up. Reach your hips forward, feeling a stretch through your hip. Place the hand down and walk the hands forward, pressing your hips towards the floor. One leg out, upward facing dog. And then reach your hips back. Slide that right leg back in. And then we'll switch to the other side. Left leg sweeps out. Thread the right arm through. Thread the needle. One more exhale, and then as you inhale, sweep the right arm up. Sit your hips back. Bring your right hand down and switch the left arm open. Drive your hips forward, shining your heart. Bring both hands down. Walk the hands forward, send your hips forward, one-legged upward facing dog. And then sit the hips back, bring that left leg in, back to tabletop. From here we'll go through a few rounds and progressions of bird dog. So you can take your right leg, extend it back, left arm, thumb up, reaching forward. As you inhale, lift the back leg and reach. Exhale, bring the limbs to touch. Place the hands down and switch. Left leg reaches down and back. Right arm extends. Inhale, lift. Exhale, limbs to touch. Place them back down. Back to your first opposite limbs. Inhale, reach. Exhale to touch. Bring it back out. Inhale. Exhale, arms to the side. Inhale, back forward. And exhale, back down. Switch limbs. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale, limbs to touch. Inhale, back out to extension. Exhale to the side. Inhale, back in front. Exhale, place them down. Opposites again, left arm, right leg, inhale, reach it out. Exhale, limbs to touch. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale to the sides. Inhale, back in front. Exhale, bring it down. Switch side. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale, limbs to touch. Inhale, sweep back out. Exhale to the side. Inhale, back in front. Exhale, lower down. We'll do 2 more on each side just like that. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale, limbs to touch. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale to the side. Inhale, back in front. Exhale, limbs to touch. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale, limbs to touch. Inhale, sweep it out. Exhale to the side. Inhale, back in front. Exhale, down in front. 1 more each side. When you're finished there, come back to a neutral tabletop position. And we'll place our hands a hand's distance in front, tuck under the toes, and push back into downward facing dog. First down dog of the day, bend your knees as much as you need. Maybe you cycle through the calves, shake your head yes and no. Do what feels best here. Then finding stillness wherever you're at, either knees bent or working towards straight. And then take your right hand and start to reach it towards your left shin or ankle. Bring yourself back forward to a plank. Push back to downward facing dog. Reach left arm towards right shin or ankle. Bring it back forward, down to a plank. Start to lower yourself slowly down to your chest. Bring your left arm straight out to the side like a T. Keep your right hand right underneath your shoulder. Start to push yourself away from that right hand. Let your right leg bend and reach behind you. Head can drop. Push away as much as you want with that right hand to intensify. You could even take the right hand off and reach it back behind. If your right hand is behind, bring it back in front. Allow yourself to push back onto your stomach. Pull your left arm in, and then we'll push ourselves back to downward facing dog. Again, do what your body needs, cycling through the legs here. And then find stillness in either a bent knee, down dog, or working towards straight. Then again, take your right hand, reaching towards your left shin or ankle. Place the hand down, come forward to a plank. Push back, downward facing dog. Reach your left hand towards your left knee, shin, or ankle. Place your left hand down, come back to a plank. Slowly lower all the way down onto your belly. This time, reach your right arm out to the side like a T. Use your left hand to push the left leg over, dropping that left foot down. Option to stay here or to reach the left arm back towards the right arm. If your hand's behind you, bring that left hand back in the push-up position. Lower your chest back down onto the floor. Slide your right arm in. Push yourself back to downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths here. And on your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look between your hands, and step your feet to the top of the mat. Allow yourself to hinge deeply, forward fold. Arms can hang, or you can clasp opposite elbows for ragdoll. Again, do it feels good here. Maybe you shake your hips left to right, head yes or no. But allow gravity to do its job. Allow everything to hang heavy. If your arms are interlaced, lower them down. And then start to rise up one vertebra at a time, head last, as slowly as you can. From here, we'll inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back, lower down to a low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, bring the hands inside the left foot. Heel twin the left foot out a little bit more if you need. Few deep breaths here. If you're able to bring the forearms down, you can do that as well, or stay up in a high position. Lift the back knee off the floor. Bring your right hand a little bit closer to center and twist to the left. Place the left hand back down, step your left foot back to plank, push back downward facing dog. We'll hold here for a few deep breaths. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply. Step your left foot forward, back to that lunge. Step your right foot forward to meet the left, forward fold. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, the halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back, lower down to a low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, bring your hands inside of your right leg. Heel toe the right leg out to the edge of your mat. Staying here for a few breaths, or option to come down to the forearms. Lift the back knee up,
Bring your left hand a little closer to center. Rotate and open to the right with your right arm. Bring the right arm back down. Step your right foot back to plank. Push back, downward facing dog. A few deep breaths here. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply. Step your right foot forward. Step your left forward to meet it. Forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Step or float back to plank. Lower down halfway on or off the knees. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A few deep breaths here. As I stated at the beginning, if you're ever losing your breath, make your way to child's pose at any point and just focus on connecting back to that breathing in and out of the nose. Take one more, inhale and exhale here, and then bend the knees deeply, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Step or float back to plank. Lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Few cycles of breath here. Our next exhale, bend the knees deeply, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale the halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up, gaze up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, go ahead and bring your big toes to touch. Your heels can be slightly apart. And then we'll bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms behind us. Inhale to chair pose. Check in with your spine. Make sure there's not an arch here. Try to tuck the hips under. If there's any issues in the neck or shoulders, you can always bring the hands to heart center. And then from here, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Again, option to continue working on that crow that we've worked on in previous weeks. Or option to step back into a plank and work on a plank hold. Regardless, you'll have about 30 seconds of practice. So if you're working on the plank, on the crow pose, your hands will be placed in front of you, about a hand and a half distance in front. You want to keep looking forward instead of down. Start to bend through the elbows, lift off of your heels, create a shelf with your elbows, and we're getting the knees up into the tricep, into the armpit. Maybe we just lean here with our toes on the floor. Maybe we start to lift one foot. Maybe we keep one foot lifted and try to lift the second foot. Or maybe we go to full crow. Regardless if you're in crow or plank, we'll give you about 15 more seconds to work on it. If you're in crow, you can bring yourself back to plank. Lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pivot your left foot down 45 degrees. Step your right foot through. Intersect your right heel with the arch of your back foot. Root down, rise up to warrior one. Shoulders should be square to the front of the room. Active through that back leg, fully pressing all four corners of your feet into the floor. And then open up to warrior two. Back foot rotates parallel to the short end of the mat now. Bend a little deeper in that front knee. Gaze off the extension of your front fingertips. From here, reverse your warrior. And then start to straighten through the front leg. Bring your hands back forward, triangle pose. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Start to bend through the front knee, shorten your stance a little bit more, and then take both hips, rotate forward, and we'll push off for warrior three. Arms coming back behind, lifting that back leg. Start to bend through the front knee, slowly place the back foot back down, 45 degrees. Hands can come back to the hips. Start to straighten through the front leg again. Keep pulling that right hip back. Place your left hand inside the right shin and start to twist to the right, revolved triangle. Start to bend through the front right knee, step your left foot back into a lunge. Place your left hand on the floor or on your block and revolve your side angle. Place your right hand down outside of the right foot, step your right foot back, and go through your vinyasa or meet us in down dog or child's pose. Take a few deep breaths here. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply. Step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, big toes to touch. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, sweep the arms up, chair pose. Exhale, bring the hands down. Option to go to plank or again to work on your crow. Step or float back to plank, push back to downward facing dog, or go through your vinyasa. Pivot your right foot down 45 degrees, step your left foot through your hands. Squaring up your left heel to bisect the arch of your right foot. Sweep the arms up, warrior one. Strong through that back leg. All four corners of both feet pressing firmly into the floor. Open up warrior two. Pivot your back foot to be parallel with the short end of the mat. Bend a little deeper into the front knee. Start to reach your arm back, reverse your warrior. Straighten your front leg. Reach your left arm down that shin. Maybe shorten the stance a little bit for triangle pose. Bring your right hand down to your right hip. Start to bend through the front knee. Square your hips off towards the center or towards the front, and then push off that back knee, back leg for warrior three. Arms reach back behind you. And then slowly start to bend through the knee. Softly place the right foot back down. Placing it 45 degrees. Bring your hands to your hips. Start to straighten through the front leg. Bring your left or your right hand on your left shin or to the floor or a block. And then start to twist to the left. Start to bend through the front knee again. Step your right foot further back. And then setting up for revolved side angle pose. Reaching the arm up overhead or rotating it forward. Place your left hand outside of the left foot, step your left foot back to plank. Option to again go through your vinyasa or to meet in down dog.
Few deep breaths here. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift, find length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. From here, we'll do a little bit of balancing. So you can place most of your weight in your left foot. And then we'll externally rotate at the right knee, bringing the right shin above the left knee. Hands can come to heart center, and then start to sit the hips back. If the floor is accessible to you, you could bring your hands down, palms to the floor. Try to soften your face, soften your gaze, maybe have a soft smile. We tend to tense up in balancing poses. Draw your shoulders down, your back. And then slowly start to rise. Step that leg out long, widen the stance, and then we'll go into a wide-legged forward fold. From here, you can inhale, sweep the arms up, and then exhale, fold,
Place your hands to the floor. Inhale, find length again, really lift and push away. And then exhale, start to fold and hinge down. Again, inhale, push away, find length through your spine. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, bring your feet back underneath your hips. We'll switch sides, so most of the weight is in your right foot this time. Externally rotate the knee, bringing the left shin above the right kneecap. And then start to sit your hips back. Again, if the flexibility allows, option to bring palms to the floor if it's accessible to you. Shoulders drawing down your back. Gaze just off the extension of the nose, finding a soft face. Next, inhale, slowly start to rise. Step the left leg out long. Reach the right arm up, right leg out long. This time, inhale, reach the arms out to the sides and back behind you. Exhale, clasp the hands, pull the hands away from your body, and then exhale, forward fold. A few deep breaths here. On your next inhale, slowly rise back up. And then exhale, step back to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step or float to plank. Option to take your vinyasa or to meet in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we'll make our way to seated. So either bending through the knees deeply and hopping through, or bringing one shin down, bring the other shin to meet it, and then sitting back onto your seat. From here, extend your left leg long. Take the sole of your right foot and bring it into your left thigh. Remove the flesh from your sit bones so you're fully sitting on your butt bones. And then square off your shoulders towards that left foot. From here, inhale and find length as you reach. Exhale, folding over that foot, grabbing onto the toes, the ankles, the calf, whatever is accessible to you. Keeping your left leg extended, release. Take the bent right leg and bring it up and over your body. Left leg can either stay long if you're not as flexible. If you're more flexible, you can bend through that left leg and place it outside of your glutes. And then we'll take the right hand and push it down behind us, finding length. Inhale the left arm up and cross over the right knee for a twist. With each inhale, try to find length through that spine, getting tall. With each exhale, push the elbow further away from the knee as you look further behind you. inhale and exhale. And then release. Unbind your legs. Step the right leg long. Place the sole of your left foot into your right thigh. Remove the flesh from underneath your sit bones. Square off your shoulders towards that right foot. Inhale, find length and height. Exhale, fold. Keeping the right leg long. Start to come back up. Take your bent left leg, reach it over the right leg. Staying here with your right leg, or if you're a little more flexible, you can start to bend through the right leg, pulling it back behind. And then take your left arm, pressing through the floor, find length. Inhale the right arm up, and then exhale, twist, hooking over the left knee. Again, with each inhale, find length through the spine. With each exhale, push further away from that knee, looking further behind you. And your next exhale, slowly release. And bring both feet in front of you this time. Again, remove the flesh from your sit bones. Flex the feet back towards your face. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Release the feet, and then cross over at the shins. Push yourself forward to tabletop, and then we'll slowly lower ourselves down to our stomach, setting up for bow pose. So from here you can bend at the knees. Try to keep your knees near each other to start, and then we'll grab the outer edges of the tops of the feet, pushing down through your pubic bone into your mat. Start to lift the quads, lift the chest, lift the heart, reaching the feet up. Keep finding length here. Keep lifting up. One more inhale and exhale. And then slowly lower yourself down. Take your fingertips wide outside of your mat, and then lift up to a fingertip cobra. And then exhale, come down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. And then we'll push ourselves back to our tabletop. We'll again cross over the shins, sit back to seated, and then slowly make our way onto our back. We'll set up for a few rounds of bridge, maybe progressing into wheel for those that have that in your practice. So from here, setting up your feet where you can graze the backs of your heels. Feet are about hip distance apart. And if you have a block, you can place it between your knees. If you don't, just imagine your knees squeezing into that block so that the knees aren't coming out wide. From here, start to lift the hips, finding length. Option to stay here with your palms facing down, or to start to walk your shoulders closer together and clasping the hands. Keep fully pressing down through all four corners of your feet.
Keep actively pushing the knees into that brick or imaginary brick. If your hands are clasped, you can release the hands, release the shoulders, and then slowly we'll all come down one vertebrae at a time. Take a few deep breaths here, and then when you're ready, we'll go through that one more time. Or if full wheel is in your practice, option to go to full wheel. Bringing the hands, palms down, about a hand's distance behind you. First setting up to the crown of the head, and then pushing yourself up into wheel. After 5 deep breaths, in either wheel or bridge, you can slowly lower yourself down. And when you're down, place the soles of your feet together, setting up for heart opener pose. One hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Opening up the hips. Start to bring your knees back to center. Bring your knees into your chest, give them a hug. And then let your knees fall over to the left. Stacking the knees and the hips up, using your left hand to keep the knees down. And then from there start to twist towards the right. Let your right arm reach over to the right, gaze off to the right. One more inhale and exhale. And then start to bring your knees back to center. Give them another hug. And then start to bring your knees over to the right. Lining up your knees and your hips. Using your right hand to keep the knee down. And then start to open and twist to the left. One more inhale and exhale. And then bring the knees back to center. Give them one more hug. And then start to bring your soles up towards the ceiling, setting up for happy baby. Grabbing the outer edges of your feet, pressing your pubic bone down first, and then start to pull the feet back towards you. Option to stay here or to start to rock over that low back, or even to extend and straighten opposites. Doing whatever your body needs here, whatever feels best.
And then bringing your knees back to touch, and then we'll rock ourselves up to seated. And then option to either stay in a seated position for a modified pigeon, where you cross your right leg over and then work on lifting your chest up towards the sky, bringing the space between your thighs and your chest closer. Or you can cross over, plant the hands, step back, and set up for full pigeon. Bring the right knee towards the right wrist. Start to pull that left hip back. Really try to square off the hips. Look back and make sure your leg is straight behind you and not out to the side. And then once you have that position, you can either stay in this upright position or start to walk your forearms down, or maybe bring your head all the way to the floor. This could be a good place for a block as well. If you're a little bit less flexible in the hip, you could pad up that hip with your block or pillow. If you're seated, we'll stay there for a few more deep breaths. If you're in full pigeon, come up to your hands, tuck under the back toe, step your left foot back, and then thread the right leg through. If you're seated, you can release that right leg and then switch, crossing the left leg over, finding length of your chest, maybe pushing that left knee away. If you're on your forearms, you can push up and out of it. And then from here, we'll get set up for our meditation. So for those joining me on Instagram, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video and restart another one for meditation.